Hello and welcome to Work Hard, Dream Harder. We're just two best friends trying to figure out life and trying to live a life to the fullest. So let's work hard and dream harder together. Yeah, so welcome back, guys. So we were kind of inspired. You okay?
I don't know. Yeah.
You okay?
There's something in that Vicks, man. Yeah, I'm alright. Sorry.
Sarah's high on Vicks Vapor Rub right now. I think it's got to her head. I'm missing out, apparently.
I usually get the knockoff one. I didn't even get the real Vicks one.
Oh, that's it. It's those dodgy chemicals we've added in.
Okay, fuck. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Anyway, we were inspired by last episode where we kind of spoke about if we would chase our dreams or chase money. And it kind of made us realise that, like, not everyone has a dream and not everyone knows what their dream is. And we kind of want to talk about how... You hear my stomach? We kind of want to talk about how, like, most people don't actually know what their dreams are.
And I think when we talk about dreams, we mean purpose or why.
Yeah.
Like, why would you wake up in the morning? Like, what gets you going? Like, it's a dream to people, but sometimes it's just the why. You know, and we just thought, like, it's hard to know. So we just thought, oh, let's talk about how we got to a place where we kind of knew what we wanted to do and what we didn't want to do.
Even then, like, I'm not 100% sure, you know? Like, I would love, as like a temporary measure, to go into like events management. I don't think it'll be something that I do for the rest of my life, but it's always something that I wanted to try out. But in the long term, I would love to own my own coffee shop.
Oh, yeah.
Like that is a big dream of mine. I want to be my own boss, because bosses are always the bane of your existence. Even if they're a really good boss, like a boss is a boss, you know? And I'd love to own my own place, be my own boss. And I love coffee shops. I love just going to a coffee shop, maybe grabbing a drink or a nice latte and like a little cake or something. Yeah. And like, I met up with one of our friends yesterday. We went to like a little garden centre and all that. But then afterwards we went to a coffee shop. I had a nice latte. He had a matcha tea. And
I definitely see that.
yeah. And I had a little toasty with it, and it was quiet and it was calm and peaceful, and you just sat there going, this is nice. Like the peace, away from the chaos for a bit. And I just loved the environment of a coffee shop, and I would love to be my own boss, so it kind of made sense 2 and 2. But it's not something I'm dead set on. Like, I could change my mind.
I think the first thing I felt is you've just got to give it a go.
Yeah.
Because the only reason why I know that I want to do anything creative is because I volunteer a lot. So I volunteer at my local theatre and in independent gallery cinema. It helps you discover if you want to do that instead of studying it and then get a job and then you're like, I don't really like that.
Yeah.
Volunteering gives you a chance.
All right, Mrs. Posho over here.
It gives you a chance to figure it out if you like it, because the only reason you know is if you try it. Because I wanted to be an actor when I was young, and I was like, yeah, that involves me remembering stuff. With my dyslexic brain, I'm like, nah. But then I realised, oh, I can do behind the scenes. I wouldn't have done that unless somebody told me about it and I dabbled in it. Now I'm like, yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah. It's like with this, me wanting to go into events management, I had no idea that I'd want to do something like that. So I thought it'd be really stressful, really horrible. But I've opened a site. I've ran events like film festivals and stuff like that. And yes, they're stressful and yes, they're a lot of work, but they are so rewarding. And for me, that's what I want.
And you know what? Number one is, what is your strength? Because when Tia said about vet management, that makes sense. Because when we were at uni, she turned when we did stuff together, she took my waffle and made it more realistic. She was just like, there's no way you can do that because we don't have the budget all the time. So
I always got shoved into like the production role, and I was just like, oh, it's because no one else wants to do it. And so I was always like kind of pulling everything together, wasn't I? And I never even wanted to at the time.
But then, because my strength is concept, idea, and I'm a waffler, I'm a talker. So
you're the dreamer, I'm the realist.
You know what? And then going back to this podcast, right? Somebody joked to me that I need a job where I can just talk and
sneeze. Bless you.
Bless me too. So going back to it, you need to find what you're good at. And somebody joked to me that I'm a good talker, and that plays my strengths because I'm dyslexic. So I've learned to use my... I was going to say use my mouth.
There you go.
I'm a good talker, so podcast.
Use your voice, yeah.
But then again, Tia does the descriptions and the titles because she's very good at righty.
Righty. Very good at righty.
So
I think how we used to do it at uni was like Sarah would talk at me and I would turn the mumbo jumbo into a sentence that's worthy of being graded.
But the thing is, you don't understand. I'm like squirrel. And Tia's like, you haven't even finished this paragraph. Why are we over there? She goes back, reframe. So you're probably hearing the...
But this is the thing though, a lot of people are like, oh, well then wouldn't you have done more work? Well, no, because you had the idea in the first place. I would have gone nowhere without you. Like, we just worked well together, didn't we?
But now, again, with the power of technology, Tia can turn... It's like, I found this app where I can speak to it and it turns into a transcript. And I can be like, here, Tia, now you make it English. Or you make it more than it essay structure. Or instead of me going to point A, you need to point A, but I'm at point B and we haven't even talked about point A. You find out what you're good at. And to get to that point, you need to volunteer, try things, you know. Just
if something takes your fancy, go for it. Why not? Like, I am disastrously afraid of heights. Like, I hate heights, and I'm trying to get over that fear a little bit. And for my birthday last year, we went to the Bear Grylls adventure in Birmingham, and we were doing like clay shooting and bless you.
Yeah.
Axe throwing, and my brother and I decided to do the iFly, which is basically indoor skydiving. Ooh. And I am, again, like I said, disastrously afraid of heights, and I was bricking it. I was like, I'm going to hate it, but how do I know until I've tried it? And I was shaking. I was so nervous. I bloody loved it. I loved it so much that someone didn't want their go and offered it to me. And I'm like, yep, sure, I'll go. Like, I never in a million years thought I'd be up there. And he also did that thing where the instructor did this thing where if you feel comfortable, he'll let you go and you go free diving on your own. And he asked me if I wanted to do it. And I'm like, yep, sure, let's go. I was really nervous about it, but I enjoyed it so much. But it's just because it was something I'd never done before. Let's go. I would 100% do that again. But 2 years ago, me wouldn't have even tried it because I would have gone, no, I don't like flights, let's not do it.
So, and then I think those are two important things.
I know a lot of people, so we're in our mid-20s, and there's a lot of people around us that they go, oh, we don't know what we want to do, or they're like struggling in their life a bit because they're putting so much pressure on themselves to find their passion. And that's not necessarily the right way to do it either. It will come to you naturally. Think of Alan Rickman, for example. He didn't get his first proper film role until he was like, in his 40s? And then he became one of the most well-known actors probably around the world. You don't have to find something just because you're in your 20s or 30s or whatever. There is no time limit. It will come to you eventually.
Because, like, I figured out that I wanted to do stuff creatively, like film and TV was, when I was like 20. But again, a lot of the, not gateways, but like a lot of these opportunities were like, oh, you can't do it because you're not 19 or 18. And I'm just like, oh, shit, like, where does that leave me then? And then that goes back to the whole thing. Volunteer time. Figure out what aspects you like, because
Try things.
yeah, because I realized that I'm never going to do the producer thing because I know that's not my strength. Unlike Tia, she realized she likes organizing stuff, so we took what we were good at and what we liked and volunteered our time. And like, what my mum doesn't understand is that I volunteer, she's like, oh, you're just giving them free labor. Yeah, maybe, but
Also, you're figuring out something for yourself.
and then it gives
Sorry, say that again.
and also it gives me like connections into rooms that I would never be a part of, like higher ups, and then it gets to a point where it's like people know who you are and know what you like, and then you never know where your opportunity goes. Let your passion guide you. If you love, for example, adventures, like hiking and stuff, okay, you've explored it, you said you liked it, and you're like, okay, I want to try climbing. Okay, you do it, and then you're like, okay, how can I? Maybe it's just a hobby. It's okay to have hobbies. Your hobby does not have to be your job.
Yeah. I feel like actually that is a big mistake that some people do. You don't always want your hobby to be your job, because sometimes you just want a hobby. So we have a friend, her favourite thing to do is play video games. And a lot of people have said to her, oh, why don't you become a Twitch streamer or like a YouTuber? And she was like, I want something to come home to enjoy after my job. And if what I enjoy becomes my job, it's no longer enjoyable. That's not the case for everybody.
But the thing is, so I've always said photography is my hobby. I'm going to leave that to my own devices. Like, I'm never going to touch that. And that's my creative outlet. Especially, this is very good for those people who are creative, right? Once it becomes your job, it becomes more stressful. It goes back to last episode. You'll have to chase clients where money. You have to worry about, like, say if
you might have to take on a client, like, say, for example, you did photography as a career. You might have to chase clients that you don't like.
Weddings or something.
Yeah, if you like photography, like nature photography, you might have to chase wedding photography just because that's the money and not because you actually enjoy it.
That comes to a good point, like, I do retail, we both do retail, but that for me is like, I don't have to worry that this podcast would make money because I've got my job, like retail job, and it's part-time. I don't have to worry that this podcast is making money because I know that I've got this job on the side, because a lot of creatives they do these gigs, like a lot of them teach, or a lot of kind of do corporate weddings and stuff. That doesn't make you any less creative because it helps you figure out your passion. It lets your passion figure out itself.
Yeah.
Because once you start putting financial pressure on creative stuff or anything, that's when it's like, shit, now you have to take that seriously, and it's
then
hard.
Some people do like that. Going back to the wedding example, the photographer example, some people will happily do a few clients that don't necessarily align with what they want to do in order to be able to also do what they want to do. It's that balance, isn't it?
But the thing is like, they've realised that that's a choice they made. But if it's not a choice they made, then there's that going back to that pressure.
Yeah.
If it's not a choice that you know that you need to do, because then people get stuck doing all the corporate gigs and the weddings because they know that will make the money, and then where does that leave your creativity? I think another thing to do is like, is there a problem you're solving? Like,
even if that problem is just I want to be happier, it doesn't have to be you're saving the world or something. If you are, great. But if you're
love
not,
that for you.
yeah, like, you can be selfish about it. People don't want to be like, I'm doing this for me. Everyone wants to try and prove how they're helping everyone around them, and that is lovely. That is a lovely idea. If you can help people, absolutely go for it. But also be damn selfish. Do it for you, you know?
Yeah, and I think that is important as well. And I think don't let other people dictate that what you're doing, because like we were saying last episode, that is what you value.
Well, it's like this, you know deep down what you enjoy and what you don't. And what's actually interesting is I heard someone say, do what energizes you, not what drains you. Because sometimes you might think that you really enjoy something and you are exhausted afterwards. And not in like the right way, not in like I've been so happy and now I'm tired, but in like
burnout.
You've burnt out, you've fed up. Because sometimes what can be a hobby initially can eventually turn into a chore. You change and you grow as you get older. Your dream might change. So like, I want to be events management or a coffee shop owner. 5 years, I could want to be a zoologist. Who knows? Like, you can meet people who have a lasting effect on you. You could meet someone random, like you're going out for a walk and you bump into someone with similar interests. They suggest something to you. Boom. Your whole life has changed now. Like, anything can happen. But pay attention to yourself. Make sure you are actually enjoying it, you know?
And say that if you're not enjoying it anymore, it's okay to pivot.
Yeah.
And I think your why doesn't have to stay the same. It's because, like, now I realise that I want to make content that helps dyslexic people. I want to create content that helps people. But that's because I've realised the value that I got from other people's content. So that's why I'm like, okay, I want to be that person for someone like me.
Yeah.
So it's all about your experience at the end of the day. That how it's like, yeah, what did you struggle in? I struggle being dyslexic, and I wish I had someone who like me making content. So I was like, why can't I do that for other people? So I think it's all about your lived experiences as well.
Well, it's like you got to follow a path that is meaningful to yourself. It's like yourself, you're like dyslexia has like can I say that again?
Ruined my life, definitely.
Ruined your life.
Sure.
Dyslexia has like had a massive hold on your life.
Yeah,
But
it's impacted me. But
using that, you've taken something that a lot of people would see as a weakness, and you're like, boom, I'm using it as like a positive.
And also that's why I realised that I need Tia, because Tia helps me and I help her. So we've, like I said, now we're talking about a duo, but now we know it's like there's no point of Tia giving me a load of admin knowing that I'm suck at it. Like, I would struggle with that, but Tia knows that.
But this is the same.
I will do the editing of the podcast.
Yeah, well, this is the same way both ways though, because you keep me
accountable.
No, you keep me enjoying life. So like, I would just be doing my 40-hour-a-week contracted job and coming home and just doing whatever. But you actually make an effort to make sure like we meet each other at least once a month and we're doing something we enjoy that's outside of my normal routine. So you're actually making sure I've got like more of a purpose as well. Like, it works both ways.
Because I think we're going back, like, the dynamic is I'm a dreamer, she's the realist. So she knows that, like, it was going back to the last pod where I was talking about unfair advantages. Mine are a bit like, I don't have that much stress, like, in finance, because I'm living with my mum and my family, right? But Tia's got to realise that she can't be more risky, but she's carved the time. You've got to carve out the time.
Yeah.
Because your purpose, like, if Tia didn't enjoy this, why would she dedicate one day a month doing this, you know? And, you know, you see a lot of YouTubers now taking a backside, like...
Yeah, they're sidestepping away, like, so they're still...
doing stuff, but not as the, like, showing up all the time, because they realise that the amount of time they've consumed doing the creative stuff, it just wore out. Like, they haven't lived their life, like...
Well, my one YouTuber who I love to watch, he's so chaotic, I love him, he's called Call Me Kevin, and the stuff he does is hilarious. And he was posting, like, most days a week, and he's, I think last year maybe, he stepped back and went, I'm doing 3 videos a week, like, I'm really scaling back what I'm doing, because I wasn't enjoying it anymore, and that's reflecting in the quality of my work. Like, sometimes do it a small amount. You can have a dream alongside your career. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and just because you're not doing it full time doesn't mean you're a failure.
Yeah. But speaking about failure, you won't be 100% successful every single time. Like, this is one thing. People get, like, a rejection or something doesn't turn out right, and it really derails you. We've both suffered with that, haven't we?
Can I just say, rejection is just redirection. And I think I'm only just reaping the rewards that past failures have just shoved on me. Now I'm just realising that, because I feel like, the way I think about it is quite spiritually. I feel like all the rejections is God's sign that there's something better, or he's protecting me from the terrible boss, or the job isn't suited for me.
Yeah, you would have got that job and the boss would have been an arse and you would have been miserable.
The thing is, don't dwell on it, because there's always better things. You learn from it, and I think we might do we mentioned in a couple of pods of how we deal with it, but maybe we'll do a pod going deep in, like, how we get out of that shit feeling.
Well, to have, like, a little insight into it, I got rejected for a promotion years ago at this shop that I was working at, for 0.5%, right, of combo percentages. I got rejected for the job. A few months later, I ended up losing that job because of, like, COVID and all that. But then I found this new job because of COVID, because I was desperate. I found this new job, and I wouldn't have been able to apply for it initially because it was going to open whilst I wasn't living here. But because of COVID, I moved back. The cinema opened. I got a job there, and 3 years later, I've had 3 promotions. Like, if I would have got that initial promotion, like, do you know when I go back to that shop, there's people who've been working there since I was there who haven't progressed anywhere, or maybe have progressed up once and that's about it. And I would have been there. I would have been stale with that one little promotion, but not really doing anything. Whereas now I've had 3 promotions. So that rejection sucked, and that made me feel so depressive and so horrible. And I felt like I wasn't good enough. But not for there. But I am for where I am now. So rejections happen, and they suck, and they're horrible, and especially when you keep getting them over and over and over again, like looking for a job. Oh my God, that's horrible. Rejection after rejection after rejection. But something will come eventually. It will.
It is like mindset overall, because it's mindset after all, because I think the reason why I'm pursuing a creative career, I know it's risky. I know that if I was chasing the money, if it were last week's episode,
if you haven't watched it, go.
If I was chasing the money, I would have done the whole corporate girly life, you know. But I know in my essence of who I am, I realised that me being a corporate girly, this dyslexic motherfucker, like, I know that wouldn't fit who I am. I know all my strengths and all my weaknesses, right? And I realised that, why would I chase that career? So I thought, okay, I'm creative. I know how to make videos. I know how to talk to people. Okay, creative career. You learn. I think that's why you should know yourself, because then that can help you guide your purpose.
I think the moral of this podcast is Try and chase your dreams. Try and work out what your dream is. But don't hate on yourself for failures, and don't hate on yourself if you don't know what you want to do. And don't hate on yourself if your dream changes. People grow.
You grow, and then all you need to know is who you are and what you enjoy, and let that guide you.
Yeah.
Follow your gut feeling, because 99.99999% of the time, won't do you wrong, because it's always a gut feeling. And that's why we say, dream harder.
Work hard. Dream harder.
Whoop whoop.
Boom.